that's why it's really important to have a plan and understand what your goals are.
In fact, my camel out there is suffering right now with a broken back.
So I actually found Pepe when it was only a couple of hours old, and I'm like, oh, this is a funny meme.
Oh my god.
Yo! Who is this degen?
The old man is swing trading over years at a time. And it's like, that's where the real money is made.
The answer is a permanent loss. With single-sided staking, you don't have to worry about a permanent loss.
Really, at the end of the day, it's just the matter of a macro market. It's just what happens.
If you're aware, if you're disciplined, you can hone that into further financial growth.
Financial freedom, so we can actually live life and not have to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, more or less, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crypto degenerates, ducks and squirrels, welcome to this special episode of Whiskey Motherfucking Wednesday. I'll be your host for tonight. My name is Will Stevenson. I'm just an iron worker that rolls around the station, dropping TV towers everywhere. And I'm joined by some fantastic, handsome, and wonderful degenerate assholes. Alongside myself, we have Mr. Zenith of the Degen Roundtable. Zenith is our government and legal analyst. We are joined by also Dr. Alan Chen, my good friend and buddy, and a super cool radiologist who runs the channel Unplugged Health or Unplugged MD. There's a whole bunch of different names, but it's all about unplugging from the modern medical nightmare. And we're also joined by Mr. Dace Northall of the Degen Roundtable. Dace is also one of the founding members of Walk the Block, and he helps run the Degen Roundtable Telegram. Gentlemen, what's new and exciting with you? Welcome to this wonderful Whiskey Wednesday. Zenith, what's up, bro?
Not much. Had some free time this evening, so I figured I'd hop in for the Whiskey Wednesday. I myself am drinking a nice Glenfiddich, 14 years.
Ooh.
It's pretty good. I don't have much more than that. Other than that, just happy Wednesday, everybody. And I know we covered on Sunday that the Fear and Greed Index was pretty much at record lows at 10, but I was seeing we got all the way down to 9 today.
Oh, shit. That's fucking nuts, man.
Hey, that's crypto for you, baby.
Yep, absolutely. Dr. Chen, how are you doing, broski? What's up? What's new and exciting with you?
Yeah, so I just recorded 2 lives for my channel, Your Health Unplugged. That's what you're looking for there. With a cold, a sore throat, and a stuffy nose. So I powered through that. And I had an epic rant on one of them. So if you tune into my channel later on after this, you can hear my epic rant about shitty parenting. Yeah, it's going to really piss off some Karens, that's for sure. But other than that, though, yeah, just been a busy content day for me. And then I'll be back to work shortly, but I'm just kind of chilling here at home for a little while, to actually relaxing for once, which is something I don't do very often. But today it's Water Wednesday for me, the W sound. But every day should be Water Wednesday.
Hell yeah. Well, one of the main ingredients in whiskey is water, so everyone's getting a nice big old check in that box. Well, thank you for joining. And I do want to hear, after we're done with introductions, I would like to hear the TLDR of your little rant there. But before we get into that, I want to bring up Mr. Dace Northall. Dace broski, how are you doing? What's new and exciting with you?
Howdy. I closed a contract today, and I also went and played some tennis for the first time in multiple years, which is something I used to do a lot of and really enjoyed and excelled at back in the day, with my sister, who started taking some lessons. So that was really cool. But no, Zenith, you mentioned the Fear and Greed Index, and we just crossed into day 5 being 10 or lower, which is a all-time record. And no bear market ever have we been that low for that long of a time, I'm pretty sure. So pretty wild.
Yeah. I think I found an article saying that this is the lowest it's been in like 3 years. And if you remember, 3 years ago was the bear market. So there you go.
Yep. So I'm excited to have some work closing, timely situation.
Oh, yeah.
Well, excellent. Fantastic. Gentlemen, it's good to see you. It's good to see all the folks at home. It's good to see everybody. We're also joined in the green room. I want to give a shout out to our good friend, Mr. Slide 180, my buddy Josh. He had to back out because his food had arrived right on time. But it was good seeing you and hanging out with you. So big shout out to Mr. Slide 180. And speaking of shout outs, Zenith, would you mind doing I can read the chat shout outs, but would you mind pulling them up on the screen for us? Because it's time for motherfucking chat shout outs, the best part of the show, where we shout out you guys that are cool enough to interact with us.
Very true. Well, I'll tell you this much. It's going to be a short list tonight. First up, we got the classic.
We got StreamYard saying live viewer comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example. Click on a comment to show it on screen. You're absolutely right. We don't shout out StreamYard enough. Thank you, StreamYard, for providing this fantastic thing for us to use.
I don't know if we need to shout them out. We pay them, and they let us do all this. So
we do pay them, don't we? That reminds me, I need to take over the payment schedule. I gotta do that so that Nate doesn't have to pay it again. So Nate, good reminder. Thank you, bro.
All right, tell you
what
what
else we got?
We got our buddy Josh. He might not be here with us present, but he's here with us in spirit, or at least in the chats. Shout out to you, big guy. Gives us a cheers and says, "I'll be watching as I stuff my face with pizza and beer." The old 07
Excellent.
as well. And then outside of that, big dog, it's just you and me saying like that smash button and let's go.
All right, fucking A right. It is a good day for some degens and some hanging outs and things. I want to toss it over to Alan, and can you give us like a TLDR of the stuff that you covered with your little rant that you had earlier? Because I'm quite curious. I know that you do some fun rants from time to time. You said you were complaining about parenting and stuff. What was the subject specifically of the complaint?
Sure. We don't address bad parenting, especially in healthcare. And that is a big reason why childhood obesity is on the up and up. And if your children are obese, you are a shitty parent. Plain and simple. Children are not meant to be fat. Like they're supposed to move a lot. They have very high metabolisms for the most part. They want to explore the world. They want to play. They want to do all these things that burn calories. And yet we're finding them, stuck inside on screens, eating shitty food, the same food that the parents are eating. And it doesn't, we're not addressing that point. And the fact of the matter is that we're seeing a lot of obesity much earlier. And then we're also seeing a lot of chronic disease much earlier that we used to see in adults. Fatty liver disease, inflammatory bowel disease, all sorts of shit that is now being normalized as normal in kids. Like it's now much more pervasive in kids, and I'm seeing a lot more of that in my daily practice. I work in pediatrics.
Yeah, I was about to add the qualifier for those at home that don't know. Alan is you're a pediatric radiologist, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. So like you, being as that you look at like the scans that happen for children all the fucking time, like you have the unfortunate position of getting to see all of the problems that are happening to all the kids that are coming into the hospitals for all these reoccurring issues. And like ideally, hospitals should be treating like, acute problems like a breaking of an arm, or like, oh no, I had like some sort of crazy like fast traumatic thing, more so than chronic preventable illnesses and problems and such, right?
Yeah, this is not normal. Like we should not be seeing this as any sort of normal. And it's gonna set them up for disaster when they become adults. It's gonna be way harder for them to lose the weight. It's gonna fuck with their metabolism. It's going to set them up for other diseases later on in life. And it really comes down to the parenting. And the reason why I got into that rant, by the way, is a video called Rewind the Future. You can easily YouTube that. It's a 1 minute 30-second video, but it exemplifies the true underlying problem when it comes to obesity that we are just not addressing because the mainstream media does not want us to know about it. And they just want to think that everything is just fine and dandy and okay, but yet your kids are on more pills than ever. So, that yeah, that's sort of the realities. We don't ask the right questions when it comes to health, and that's sort of what my channel is a lot about, is how to ask the right questions and get the proper answers. Because if we ask the wrong questions, we're not going to get the right answers that we want. And also, if we ignore the truth, then we're not going to get better as a society as a whole. We are stuck in la land in social media or whatever that causes us to, or that prevents us from actually making any effective change whatsoever. Is that short enough for you?
Yeah, that's perfect, man. I would give Zenith and Dace an opportunity to hop in here with your guys' thoughts. Do you have anything?
Well, don't have any kids. Don't plan on having anytime soon. So can't really say what I would do about it. But at the same time, like, look, you're not wrong. Obesity rates in America are at the highest. Child obesity rates are higher than ever as well. There's a lot going on. I mean, we've seen the obesity rates for a while now, but I think when you combine it with kind of like the death of free spaces out in the world for children to go to, or teens especially, and you kind of just keep them cooped up at home, shove the iPad in front of them. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, look, I was diagnosed with celiac disease at 32 years old. So like, I am an easy sell on the idea that our food supply is being manipulated. I don't think that stuff happens by accident. And I think, yeah, like I said, I'm an easy sell on that idea, given my personal experience.
Yeah. One more point that I would make is was the real rant, actually. So I hear a lot of parents almost have this kind of disdain for their kids, that they blame their problems and they shunt it over to their kids. Like, oh my God, I got to take Timmy to practice and I can't work out, blah, 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 that kind of thing. Like that kind of disdain, even though you're not saying it outright, saying like, oh, it's my kid's fault that, that my life sucks. Right. The nonverbal cues, kids pick up on that really, really well. And they may not manifest in it right away, saying like, oh, daddy, that's not a good, nice thing to say about me, just for me existing. And here's where it gets really depressing. Like it's so pervasive, like they see kids like this, like they're objects rather than they're actual, like a gift from God, and I'll say this right off the bat on stream. Like if I ever act like that, whenever I have kids, I don't have kids right now, but if I ever act like that and you see me doing that, like call me out on it and do it publicly. Like I'm like, one promise that I would make to my future kids, that I would never ever blame my problems on my kids, ever. That is the worst thing that you can do as a parent, is to like shunt your problems that you've created yourself, more likely than not. And not to mention, like, you also didn't need to have, that unprotected sex to get that kid in the first place. That was also an option for you at one point. So the fact that like it's their kids are being treated that way is like, we don't perceive it that way because we don't hear about this kind of take very often, but it's just very depressing to hear that. And and unfortunately it's sort of been pushed on media. You can sort of listen for this kind of stuff, like these kind of cues as to like, thinking that like, oh my God, I can't have fun anymore because of my kids. Like, no. Like that's awful to hear that. Your kids should be your bundle of joy, and they're a version of you. They are a reflection of you. So if you yourself are, as a parent, are undergoing bad behavior, it's going to reflect on your kids. And a lot of parents can't deal with that fact, is that a lot of kids' bad behavior is a reflection of the parents. And the parents want to shunt that accountability to somewhere else, like the schools or the doctors or whatever. Like it's just that's where we're at. Like that's how deep the problem is. And I don't know if this is the first time you guys heard this kind of take, but that's kind of what I see, and that's sort of what part of the reason why like I'm doing other things with my life, just to kind of like get myself sane, because it's really hard to stomach this every now and then, and it's depressing at times. I Will see me at some of my worst times where I've had to like listen to this kind of crap, and it makes me really, really depressed, unfortunately. And I've dealt with it better now, but like, especially with the channel, like that's part of the reason why the channel exists, is because I'm trying to like just tell the truth really, and just like and see what things the way they are. So anyway,
Alan, are you familiar with Ken Wilber, the layers or stages of consciousness at all?
no.
Man, I think you would like his work a lot.
Okay.
It's worth checking out. There's a famous YouTuber who talks about it a lot. This YouTuber talks about dating. I think his name is Ho_math.
Yeah.
But he's covered this chart. Ken Wilber's the guy that he literally has taken all the ideas from, and like the guy's written some really, really smart books about just the different functional layers of consciousness and how you can tell what layer somebody's on by their behaviors and actions in the world.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a book club on it.
Oh, I actually think it would probably be a good entry. It's probably a thick entry, but it's a good one.
Okay.
But yeah, speaking to what you said about the connection to parents, like we all of us, whether we're kids or not, we can only learn from a template, right? Like it's very difficult for us to generate entirely new idea or inspiration all on our own without outside affectation. And so if the folks who are closest to us or most archetypal to us give us faulty models, it's no wonder that we carry those faulty models on into the future unless that's just going to be everybody's default. So yeah, it's definitely something that worth checking out on this topic.
Yeah, definitely.
It strikes me as like a leadership problem almost, because when you enter into parenthood, whether you want to or not, you are thrust into a position of leadership. A lot of people in their regular everyday life never experience like true 24/7 leadership of people that are genuinely helpless or can't function on their own. I mean, like that's the difference between a child and an adult, right? It's like an adult can function on their own and a child cannot. And oftentimes children become adults like very early in life through failure of their parents or whatever. They have to learn the cold, cruel world on their own, like the Raised by Wolves, Mowgli types. But like the major problem that I see here is it's just a big dilution of responsibility and authority and accountability. The three pillars of leadership, right? Like the parents aren't taking their responsibility of what happens to the child seriously. The parents aren't held really accountable for their children. They just like with this obesity in children stuff. Like if a parent takes their kid into the doctor and the kid's messed up, it would be in a world where people could take constructive criticism and feedback and stuff. The doctor would be empowered to say, "Hey, parent, you are screwing up this thing that is a small copy of you, that is your future, that is my future, that's going to be like the thing that feeds us when we're old and, shitting in diapers and stuff," right? Like you're ruining this thing during its developmental stages. That would be like an ideal world where a doctor could tell the parent this sort of thing. But correct me if I'm wrong, Alan, I don't think that really doctors are empowered to do that sort of constructive feedback to parents who aren't necessarily asking specifically for that constructive feedback or something like that. I don't really know, but
yeah, how do you expect a doctor to be able to go back into years of parenting, dig that deep in 15 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
it's
like you don't have time. Like you're not a therapist and a teacher in addition to being a doctor. It's like all that I can do is fix the problem that's happening right now.
Right.
It's so,
yeah. One of my side gigs, by the way, is my clientele for my side business. It's sort of more like a consulting business rather than a doctor business, but is that I help fathers manage the health of their families. So using the father as the lead point. So you're talking about leadership as the leader of the family and guiding them to better health, whether it's, whether or not that children should get jabbed, whether or not that children should go to this school or that school. Like, what are the things that you got to ask yourself, and what are things you got to think about when it comes to environment, especially for your children, and then also your wife as well. The mother of your kids, that is. There's a lot of things that just, obviously are not taught in mainstream education that, should be addressed. And we don't think about these things until it's too late. And you have to make a split second decision. And a lot of times, it unfortunately leads to something that you didn't want to do that you regret. You can hint, wink, wink. What I'm trying to refer to is something that you regret in giving to yourself or your kids. So it's making kind of those better decisions, but not necessarily me telling you what to do, but just giving you the tools as to like what to think about to make the decision as best for yourself. I can't really make the decisions for you. I don't want to actually, because you know yourself better than I do. I'm just here to just kind of help you and guide you into, what kinds of things to think about. And also, like, a lot of people don't know that there's other alternatives to a lot of things in health than just surgery, medications, and radiation, and whatever is not that goes in the walls of the hospital. There's plenty of other things that you can go about, but they require time, effort, and prior knowledge to be able to undergo those things. And those are some things that I open up to a lot of people. So that's a kind of a separate goal for not just that, but also the channel as well, is giving you all the tools to be able to think on your own rather than me just regurgitating information. I'm trying to use real life examples to help you say, like, hey, what should we really be thinking about? Or what are they not telling us? Or does this statistic make sense? We have a lot of that going on where it's just like, does that make sense? Yeah. What are other things that I can think about that kind of confirm or deny that? And you guys talk a lot about this on your channel, where especially when it comes to like investing in finance, like do these stock prices actually make sense with the job market as shitty as it is right now? Right? Like, are we really in a recession right now? You have to think of the other factors that they're not telling you about. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I try to try to show people wherever I go.
I like that you do the consultation stuff for fathers to help with their family's health and things. And actually, Zenith, I don't know if you know this one, but it reminds me of a quote from one of our favorite authors, Robert Heinlein. Z, are you familiar with the "specialization is for insects" quote?
Oh, I can't remember that one. Let me see.
I have it pulled up right now, but like fucking Heinlein wrote a whole bunch of great things. He's one he's a very good quotable author, but he wrote that, and I think that this is very important for all men, especially fathers, like to become a well-rounded leader, to be able to like lead your family at all sorts of different things, not just in like health, but in many realms of life. But Robert's quoted as saying, "A human being should be able to change a diaper, plan an invasion, butcher a hog, con a ship, design a building, write a sonnet, balance accounts, build a wall, set a bone, comfort the dying, take orders, give orders, cooperate, act alone, solve equations, analyze a new problem, pitch manure, program a computer, cook a tasty meal, fight efficiently, and die gallantly, because specialization is for insects." This is I can't remember. Yeah. It was posted in quotes by Elise. I don't know exactly which book it's from, or if it's from a specific book or anything, but yeah, like I do think that men need to be well-rounded, especially the leaders of the world. And if you're a father, then you're a leader whether you want to be or not. Like, and so because you have this very serious charge, it would behoove you, and it would behoove your future and everyone else's future to take this charge seriously and produce the best little humans possible, both for your own sake, out of a sense of selfishness and objectivism, but also for the little fellas too, because it's like, it is not fair to treat something poorly that cannot affect its own life and change its own life for the better, and I'm being like super duper calloused here in my speech purposefully to like illustrate the point that that like it's very important, even if you don't take an empathetic look or feeling towards it. So that's what I got on that. Z, I see you're unmuted there, buddy. You got a thought?
No, nothing in particular on this one. I mean, Alan, to go back to a point you made earlier about just like, I definitely see that there is an attitude where children are more of just like a thing closer to like a pet or like a collectible in a handbag. And I think
a novelty.
Not to get like too all philosophic on it, but I think it does kind of go to the attitude that's been cultivated over the last 50, 60 years, and kind of like the the post Cold War era of things, and especially the social media era of things, where it's like you're doing things performatively instead of like actually for the reason. Part of that could be death of morality and reason and religion and all that kind of stuff, and the other thing is just trying to keep up with the Joneses. And it's like, well, they have a kid, I don't have a kid, but they have a kid, so maybe I should get one. Or it's to give Alan the joke back here and be like, yeah, we have kids so that they can become doctors, and if they don't, then we shame them.
Ooh, ouch. By the way, for those who don't know, me, my sister, and my brother are all doctors.
Yep.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
Let's go. Hell yeah.
Is your father a doctor as well?
Pharmacist.
Okay, a pharmacist, but in the field. So
Correct.
In the medical world.
Yes, we are a family of intellectuals, if you will.
Learned scholars, if you will.
Yeah. The pinkies up for the maybe not for the queen, for the emperor, perhaps. Is that more appropriate, Alan?
Emperor? No,
is there an emperor of Taiwan?
No, it's president. It's president.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Pinkies
I
up for the
was thinking about
China.
No, I was thinking about China. What do they call them? I think they call them emperors.
Maybe. I know Xi Jinping is not an
in
emperor.
dynasties. Yeah, they were dynasties. What do you call them? Fuck. What do you call
I think it's the emperor.
I think it's emperor.
Is Taiwan?
Right?
Yeah.
Is Taiwan, aka original China, the only China? The actual mainland China, perhaps we'll get this. Don't send us any super chats, boys. This particular episode might get demonetized. But
yes,
but you know,
my channel might get canceled already.
Yeah, that mainland big place that's got a couple billion people in it. That's actually just the correct name for that is East Taiwan. So for those of you guys that were
Wouldn't
not
that be
sure,
West Taiwan?
Because
it's west of Taiwan.
Oh, it is west of Taiwan. Wow, you're right. Yeah, West Taiwan.
I never corrected you on that.
I'm
you said
thinking
that multiple times.
Yeah. I can't remember where I heard that from. Damn it. Yeah, you're right. But yeah.
Oh, so
shoot,
by the way,
forgot.
it's emperor, but also they were also called chancellor at some point.
Ooh, chancellor.
Weird.
That's a good.
Weird.
That's a good name.
Well, it doesn't even sound Asian. It sounds very
Chancellor?
English. Yeah, chancellor. It doesn't sound
Star
Asian.
Wars. Sounds Star Wars to me.
Yeah, very very Star Warsy. Yeah.
I was gonna say that sounds like English boarding school right there. Like you're not gonna go see the principal, you're gonna go see the chancellor. Oh.
Did you guys like ever catch on to like in Star Wars? There's a whole bunch of like space alien races that do like the different English accents to represent like different countries and stuff. Like the
didn't catch on.
The Trade Federation had like Imperial Japanese and Chinese, like the big eyeballed people that like made all the droids. They had Chinese. The Empire had like high British accents. The oh man, there's another like alien race that had like Slavic accents.
The Gungans had like the Jamaican, dialect. Yep. Jar Jar and company.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them actually, for sure.
Yeah, and then the Twi'leks, the sexy, erotic, long tentacle hair dancer ones, they had French accents, which I thought was very funny. But there's all sorts of
episode 1. I think they quickly abandoned this as we got later on into the franchise.
I want to say I don't know if Jabba the Hutt has anything, but yeah, episode 1, George Lucas was playing around. No, they did it in episode 2 as well.
It's throughout the whole thing. It's more prevalent in some than others, for sure.
Okay.
But it is scattered throughout, no doubt about it. And like you saw them revisit that with the First Order, right? With all the British folks and the new sequels.
Oh, the Empire always had, for some reason, space bad guys almost always have to have like high British accents.
That's right, no doubt.
Like they never have
space bad guys and elves both have to have high British.
Yeah. That's true. All the people that are like, I raised my nose in the air, they all have the British royalty accents. You never see like Darth Vader's little minions having like some Cockney, oi governor, what you like, fucking wandering around the Death Star.
If I could pick any human being's job, it would probably be Ben Burt. Ben Burt is one of the most famous audio engineers in the film world. He has won a disgusting amount of Academy Awards. He's done like Terminator and Jurassic Park and all of the Star Wars, Indiana Jones, like you name it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's got an amazing job, but it's cool. The part of the job that I think is so cool is those subconscious associations, right? That you're referencing. Like for example, in Indiana Jones, when he's firing his revolver, it is like a giant elephant gun sound that's overlaid when he's firing his gun, and everybody else's guns are true to form. And so, it makes this association where the hero's weapon is the bigger and louder than the other folks. And yeah, his Terminator 2 vehicle sounds have been sold and reused in like 90% of all car movies, because recording car sounds is expensive and dangerous and a pain. And so, you've heard his car sound captures in just about any action movie ever since Terminator 2.
That's pretty fucking cool. Things you didn't know you didn't know. By the way, guys, for those of you that didn't know, Dace is also an audio. Would you call yourself like an engineer? I mean, I know you don't have your engineer.
We are the black sheep of the quote unquote engineers out there, where we get to call ourselves engineers and nobody gets to really say anything about it. Audio engineer, technically, very musically inclined person that also likes the mechanical side of it. It's my passion. It's what I do for work.
Hell yeah. And speaking of work, I'm gonna do a hard transition here. Zenith, you have a thing that you wanted to say?
Oh, I was gonna say, Dace got me going down a rabbit hole with the Indiana Jones gun reference, and I was like, what gun was that? So I looked it up. It's an M1917 revolver, but it's actually a special revolver, because usually revolvers fire more of a longer, flatter style cartridge. But this one from the movie is actually chambered in 45 ACP, which is a modernized cartridge, which is a little more rare in
for sure
revolvers. Yeah. Anyways, that's a tangent for another day. But I did have one article that I've been trying to share with the boys for literally.
That's my hard transition. Perfect. You beat me to
5 days now. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very serious thing that's happening right now that we need to talk about. The last U.S. penny minted has ever been minted. There are no more coming. If you are in possession of a penny, congratulations. You now have a collector's item that does also have monetary value. But yeah, the last one happened, coming to us from Cointelegraph. The last penny, which valued at 1 cent, cost about 3.7 times its face value to mint as inflation erodes the value of fiat currency. And because it's a crypto website, they're like, this is why you need Bitcoin. No more pennies. You got to get Bitcoins.
Got to get Bitcoin, because the last penny was made. One day, the last Bitcoin will be made in like 2135 or something like that. And then
I want to say it's like 2140. And then after that, it's all just like network fees that get recycled, I want to say.
Yep. I mean, yeah, but like back to the penny thing. Like, I think this is pretty cool. Like, adios, Mr. Penny. I've definitely got a bunch of rolls of them, because one of the things I like to collect change, not from like a collecting standpoint, but I've come to learn this horrible fact about myself, that I really love sorting things, and I really love like organizing chaos. So like, I take jars of change, and I have like an old 1980s. I think I brought it out on stream one time. An old 1980s Nidex coin sorter that you like dump coins on, and they like fall. It's like a gravity powered coin sorter, and it's really cool. And you can like, you can sort all sorts of coins and things. And I've fiddled around with different types of coin sorters in the past and whatnot, but it's like, it's a hobby of mine. So like, I don't collect them because I care about them. I collect them because I like putting things in neat little rows and columns. And, you ask anybody that I play like Minecraft or Skyrim or Fallout or whatever with, like, I love games that are essentially big giant inventory simulators where you get to figure out how to put things in similar boxes and whatnot. And man, when I'm organizing my truck after a haul of going and doing TV towers and shit, I just organize the fuck out of it. Do redo. It's really cool and fun. But anyways, let's talk about the last penny being made. Enough about me. This is pretty cool.
I always thought this was kind of like one of those rumors. People were like, "Oh, we're not going to need the penny one day," and I'm like, "What do you mean we're not going to need the penny? Like, we literally do monetary values to the like 100th decimal place. So, what do we do now? Do you just say like no change lower than a nickel?" I remember it's a very imperfect game. It's also a really brutal game, but they made a card game version of Monopoly called Monopoly Go, or it's gosh, I can't, it's pretty much like Monopoly but with cards, and then it's very aggressive because the whole point is you only get like 3 actions a turn. You're gonna like draw cards, play cards, or play cards as like money, as like defense against when people try to come take your stuff. But the rule in that game is that there's no change. So if you have a $5 bill in your money stack, and then your opponent plays a card that says everyone has to pay you $2, well, guess what? You either look at that $5 bill and you give it to them, or they start coming for your property. It's like, that's pretty brutal, just from a game standpoint. If we start getting to finance and we're just starting to leave off the anything less than 4 cents, pretty much 4 cents and below, that's Office Space territory. If you guys remember the plot from that movie, they were like, oh yeah, we do like millions of transactions a day and they go down way below a penny. So if we just like, I don't know, like set a skimmer program to only take like 1/100th of a penny at a time, it'll just slowly fill up this secret bank account that no one's going to know because no one's going to notice. And then they go to the ATM the next day and there's like $500,000 in there. And they're just like, oh, frick.
Oops.
I don't know.
That's a good movie. I like that movie. But I mean, bro, nothing costs a penny. There's no point having it. The lowest costing thing is like 25 cents.
When was the last?
It's like a gumball.
Last time you used a penny for something?
I don't use pennies, man. They're useless. The only thing that I could think of anybody using a penny for is the I can't remember what movie it is, but there's this, actually I'm not going to say that on the air. That's probably too fucking much. If any of you guys know about the golfing movie and a dude talking about pennies, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's the only utility for pennies.
I would say I got pennies in El Salvador because there's, I think El Salvador and Ecuador use the USD still.
Yep.
So then a lot of them use cash. So they still have it. So they need it because there are a lot of things that are cheaper, by the way.
Yeah.
And
that's not long for this world, Alan.
I know, but at any rate, yeah, you can find them there for sure.
Now our tens and tens of viewers are going to go down to El Salvador and they're going to upset the ecosystem and gentrify everyone. And then all the local El Salvadorians are going to get upset because they're all getting priced out of the market because these filthy rich Americans with all their pennies are coming down and buying up all their pupusas and Coca-Colas and fucking 10-liter gallon jugs because they fucking love Coca-Cola down there. And everything's going to be, they're going to run out of goods.
Wait, how do you have a 10-gallon jug of a soda? Like, the whole point of soda is you want it to be fizzy. And then I think everyone's experienced this where you have like a 2-liter of soda, you leave it in the fridge for like a week or something. By the end of it, it's just flat.
Well, yeah, that's why fountains feed the syrup and then the bubbles separate, right?
Yeah.
I was not being, for the record, I was not being serious, guys. I was just trying to make a bombastic point that the Central Americans love Coca-Cola. Like, they go fucking bonkers for it, man. They're addicted to it.
Sugar's the most potent drug on the market, brother. No doubt. They've got the good stuff. They don't have the corn syrup trash we've got.
I wouldn't say it's better than us.
They have.
I would say that it's like kind of good taste, but it's really not good. If you take a look at the local El Salvadorian like populace, they're all like fucking 5'2", but they're all wide and very like girthy. Not all of them, but like a large portion of Central America is just like overfed on Mexican Coke, which is delicious, you know, but like the sugar, calories in, calories out. If you consume more sugar, and this is one of the things Agent J talks about all the while, if you drink all your calories, then you can consume a shit ton of calories in one day. And that seems to be what happens down there, at least by my reckoning. So like, even though it's healthier to get cane sugar, arguably healthier, it's still like a numeric value that I burned off through exercise, or it does not, in which case it gets stored up for later.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's why I started with like, it's the most potent drug on the market. It's evil. It tastes better. To me, it tastes better than the corn syrup stuff.
Yeah, the country, the second most fat country in the U.S. Oh, sorry, the second most obese country, second to the U.S. is Mexico. I would equate other Latin American countries like similar to Mexico. It's about like 20%, whereas the U.S. is like in the 70s. 20-30% ish.
The gap is that wide? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wide. But yeah, I agree with Will in that there's a lot of people that take a little bit too much of the sugars if you will, and excess of anything to a certain extent, will get you fat if you don't work it off, obviously. So, that's also a thing too. So, yeah, I mean, it's oh, we got a chart here. It's yeah, that makes sense. Who's wait?
According to this one, we're number 10.
What?
No,
we got to pump those numbers up.
Wait a minute.
I mean, if you want to go for like,
no, we're definitely more than 40%.
Get Krispy Kreme on the phone right now.
Yeah. Wait, how about no? Go to both. No, click on both.
Boom.
That changes.
Did they just redefine the word obesity or something? Did they make a morbid obesity? Because like over like 70% of America is overweight. I don't know. I think obesity. What's the difference between overweight and obese?
BMI. So it's a certain BMI.
Okay.
No, we've said it's 2/3 for obesity, so like specifically obesity, which makes sense with the eye test. Huh. That's interesting.
BMI over.
Interesting. There's a lot of African countries on top. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Who paid for the study?
So much for those starving Africans.
Who paid for
this?
It's a WHO. Oh, that makes sense. That actually makes more sense. It's
what
from
a
the
credible
WHO.
organization.
Yeah. Let me
studies
find one. Let me
brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Yeah, the same people that are feeding you the food.
Yeah. Oh, don't make me started on that industry of like sending food to other countries. Like that's another issue for another time. Baby formula is a big one. Hold on. What are the highest?
Oh man,
Saudi, really? Saudi Arabia. All right.
20. That makes sense because a lot of them are rich but also like lazy.
They live large.
Yeah. What are the countries?
I could see that.
Rates. Let me see what AI says.
they're actually easier to see because they take up more volume.
Interesting. Okay, AI is saying the same thing, but they're also getting their data from the same place, so that makes,
that makes us trapped. We in the bubble, my friend.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as like, if you look at the list, as far as like major nations in the world goes, yeah, the U.S. is pretty close to the top of that list. Based on which one you pull up, Egypt is sometimes beating us, but a lot of what you look at there is a lot of
small countries,
island countries too. Small island countries. We got like Tonga, Nauru, Samoa, Bahamas, Marshall Islands, Micronesia, that kind of stuff. So,
what do you think's going on there in terms of the isolation? So, what came to mind when you just said small countries was, I've been to Hawaii a few times, and like the poi there, right, is like a high carb dense, like really sustainable long term, but not optimal food.
Spam musubi, my friend.
Yeah, man.
Sweet musubi.
By the way,
musubi?
Spam musubi is basically like sushi rice with a fried piece of spam on top of it in the same shape, and then they wrap it with a piece of seaweed.
Yeah, you can get spam in all sorts of delivery methods in Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
They're
Well,
big
have
fans of spam.
you ever heard of a dish called loco moco?
I think so.
Spam is just emulsified pork, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, preserved pork as well.
Yeah.
But loco moco is also, there's debate on if it's like authentic or kind of like westernized stuff, like American Tex-Mex versus like Mexican food. But what it is basically just a bed of rice, a real fatty hamburger patty, and they put like a nice fried egg on top of it, and then gravy as well. Let me tell you, it is banging.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
That is a calorie mess right there.
It is, but at the same time, like if you just want to be a big boy and you want to eat big, get big, well, I think the Samoans might have something. They might be onto something.
No doubt. Proof's in the pudding.
Yeah, you
There's
actually
a reason
wonder.
that they make good rugby players.
Yeah, you actually wonder if it's a cultural thing than anything.
I bet that. I mean, realistically,
The American Samoa makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, food availability is probably also another thing, another part of it too.
Sure.
There's that. Yeah.
By the way, we've also crossed the line where worldwide obesity is a bigger problem than starvation. So
Oh, really?
Take that with a
We
grain
did
of
it,
salt.
boys. We
There we
beat
go.
world hunger.
We have the food surplus.
It's now the opposite. Yeah.
Now we need to
You
stop
guys-
eating it.
Do you guys remember that there was a big push around like the Earth is getting too populated and we need like depopulation?
Yeah.
You guys remember
Billy
that?
Gates.
I feel like that was like
China did that.
like
It's still here, man. I mean, it's still a thing.
Yeah.
Just got to ask a certain
Eats
type
bugs.
of person. That's
Eats
all you got to find.
I feel like I
Isn't that
remember this being big back in like the early 2000s,
Mhm.
and then since then the global crisis or panic about whatever the current topic was is like shifted. But hey, if you're saying that we are more overweight instead of underweight, then I don't know if that whole overpopulation thing is an issue.
Probably not, but we're having an underpopulation. A lot of countries, especially in Asian countries, are dealing with a really shitty birth rate. So like the replacement value is now negative. So that it's a huge problem in a lot of countries, especially especially in the United States too. By the way,
Well, I was going to say in Europe, there's a couple of spots that are worse, as bad off as some of the Asian countries, and even more so than the U.S. Like, I mean, I think Italy is pretty bad off. Germany's pretty bad off. Yeah, it's scary. I have lots and lots of spicy thoughts about this topic. I'll probably keep them to myself.
Well,
I mean, this is why they import. I don't want to call them like slave people, but why they import, people that just have a fuck ton of kids.
Oh,
yeah, low wage workers. It's like if they're happy to work for a lower price, then countries bring them in, and it displaces like semi-skilled labor in the more westernized or whatever you want to call it culture. But like, yeah, this is the problem that immigration solves, and like nobody in the home building industry will admit to it, but America is drunk on Hispanic labor when it comes to home building. The reason that like homes are as affordable as they are is because like damn near all of the labor part is being done by imported Hispanic labor from like Central America somewhere, because they will work cheaper than American people. The only people that are buying American when it comes to labor are the wealthy upper class folks that can afford a $1 million home, that can afford a $700,000 home, like custom made, and really even like a $700,000 custom home is pretty unrealistic. Like even $1 million custom home, that's like you're doing real shitty custom work for $1 million. Like the real like skilled tradesman worker built homes start in like the 2 to 5 million range. And this is just based off of anecdotal things that I'm remembering from conversations with Sam, who is a drafter, who like he builds the plans for these types of homes and these types of builders. And he realized that like cranking out plans for people in the $700,000 to $1.2 million range was just like, it was not economically sustainable for him, a draftsman, and so it's like, it is crazy, man, how much American labor just in the housing industry, and this isn't even including agricultural. This isn't including like pipeline. I know that there's a lot of imported labor in the medical field. There's a lot of imported labor in the gas station owning field. Like you can look at it all across the. Again, guys, don't give us super chats on this episode because this one's definitely getting demonetized. I will not be surprised if Zenith gets that email later. It's like, this stream has been pulled from the air or whatever the hell.
No. Only when I go solo does it get pulled. If you run it solo, we just get demonetized. There's a difference.
Ah, okay.
Because I pissed
Very
off
good.
the South Park people one time, and they said absolutely not.
I thought that was a great thing to do, but I guess that not Ben Stiller. What the fuck's his name? God damn it, Matt and
Trey Parker. Matt Stone, Trey Parker.
Trey Parker, Matt Stone. Yeah, those guys. They want their
guys. It was paramount.
They want their dollary dues. But yeah, you were anyways, that's enough of my ranting about like immigration stuff. It's a problem that happens. Like we've got the health problems, we've got the immigration problems, we've got the money problems. They're not making fucking pennies anymore. Like one wonders.
I want an answer from all you guys about the penny problem. All right, pennies are no more. How do you do the math? How do you do it? Give me a solution or an idea.
Pennies are no more. How do you do the math?
What do you mean, like rounding up, rounding down?
Do you? Do you?
No,
only
you
do
just.
You do what they do in Indonesia, for example, because.
Bro, who the fuck uses cash?
Well, that too. Yeah.
Tell me the last time you used cash. Actually, no, not even tell me the last time. Tell me the percent of your transactions that are in cash. Nobody uses cash, so it doesn't matter if they get rid of the pennies because nobody's fucking using them. Like maybe like 3 to 5% of all transactions, and I think that's a pretty
pennies, but like I use
generous
cash
one.
pretty regularly. Like when I'm going golfing and stuff, I always keep cash on me to pay the bar cart lady.
But I mean, you're not going to pay them in pennies.
Yeah, you're not going to pay them in pennies. If you give someone pennies, bro, you're an asshole.
Yeah,
that's true. But
that's worse than giving them nothing.
Yeah.
Although now, if you give them pennies, they'll be like, "Ooh, collectibles! Oh boy, you know." Maybe. So maybe it'll.
If they're
now that they're
yeah.
Now that they're no longer. Oh, let's see. What is this?
All right, I was curious, so I went ahead and found some answers. So other countries have eliminated their 1-cent coins. Let's see what they do. Australia, they got rid of it in 1992. Most recently, they're actually trying to get rid of their 5-cent coin as well. Didn't succeed, but in 2020, they National Mint predicted that 5 and 10-cent coins would eventually meet a quote-unquote graceful death as people would just stop using them. This one's probably the real answer, though. Looking to the neighbors up north, when Canada got rid of its penny in 2012, it allowed the coins to remain in circulation and legal tender, but encouraged merchants to round monetary amounts to the nearest 5-cent increment and implemented a customer education program so shoppers would be accustomed to the idea. Today, the practice of rounding up and down to 5-cent increment when paying with cash has become the ordinary to Canadians as being a fan of ice hockey. I don't know what that last part has anything to do with it, but I guess they like ice hockey.
We're talking about Canada, so we got to throw in the word hockey in there somewhere.
I think that realistically, like, this is the answer. Because if you take this one, like, kind of a layer deeper on thinking, it's like, okay, well, theoretically, if you were going to tax a 3-cent transaction at 7%, you're going to end up owing 3 cents, 0.21 microcents, or whatever you want to call it. But do we actually do that? The answer is no. So rounding, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, it's probably just the answer, as boring as that is. But yeah, we also had Sweden and New Zealand came in here as well. They also got rid of their pennies. Yeah. Wow, I really derailed everyone there with that one, didn't I?
What was your question? You said you had a question.
Yeah, I wanted to force you guys to try to come up with a system, and then you were just like, I don't know. So
and then you
hold up the answer.
Oh, then you give us the answer. Okay.
I mean, realistically, like, what else are you gonna do? Just try to do the gosh, who was that? Australia. Just hope that people just stop caring and stop using it altogether, or you can just come out with the guidance, which is like, yeah, just round it up or down. Who cares?
I'll just open a storefront and say, listen, guys, it's Monopoly Go rules. Everything in my store is 1 penny more than it needs to be. So now you have to pay $1.05 instead of $1. So, haha.
By the way, the game that I reference is called Monopoly Deal. I just remembered it.
Monopoly Deal. Okay.
Yeah,
say Monopoly Go sounds. Oh, that control.
There you go. If you're interested, you can pick it up for $5.59. By the way, I have played this with my brothers.
It's going to be
there may have been
55 cents.
There may or may not have been fist fights as a result of this game. If you want just some good
Speaking
fun,
of which,
it's a good one.
Yeah, I showed Will. There's a Marine Monopoly too.
A Marine Monopoly. I do not recall. You probably did, but I forget like everything. It's my superpower.
Zine, if you want to pull that up.
Yeah.
Marine Monopoly.
Monopoly is like the epitome of the game that has really not been like. I mean, here we asked, like, when was the last time you used a penny? When was the last time you played a game of Monopoly by the rules?
Sometimes people don't even know what the rules are.
That's true.
I played it on the airplane, and there's some rules that I didn't know existed. Like if you roll doubles, you get to go again. I didn't know that.
I have the coolest book about Monopoly. I went through a really, really nerdy, obsessive about Monopoly phase.
Yeah.
There's tournaments every year. There was for a long time. I don't know if there still are.
Oh yeah, there definitely are. Sure.
The book has statistics about like housing optimization and like all sorts of cool stuff.
How often spaces are hit.
But yeah, most people, like you said, don't play it by the rules for sure.
I try
the free parking rule where you add money onto it and people just get it is actually adds the most variance and adds the most time to the game of anything you could possibly do to the game.
Yeah, I try to go after the orange and red because it's right after jail.
The oranges are the best.
Go to jail a lot apparently in Monopoly.
I like the oranges and the light blues. Those are the
Yeah.
best too, in my mind. But yeah, the red's right up there too.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, which one of us hasn't gone down the rabbit hole of looking up statistical variance based on probabilistic dice rolls and the locations on the board, and then comparing the value of property price versus the amount of money you have to invest in a house versus the rate of return on each of the properties? By the way, the dark greens are a scam. Don't buy them. Just pass them up.
Facts.
Just saying. They are literally the worst rate of return in any property investment in Monopoly.
The blues, the boardwalk, and the park place are the most rage-inducing.
Oh,
Man, am I the only one that doesn't know anything about Monopoly? Fuck, I've been
never
conned
played
into a stream with a bunch of Monopoly knowers. I know what I'm not playing with you guys because I'll get my ass stomped.
No. Here, all of us have gone down the rabbit hole, looked at it. At the end of the day, though, Monopoly is still a very deeply flawed game.
It's
In my
luck.
personal
Or luck.
opinion, luck for sure. But in my personal opinion, it is one of the games where the first mover's advantage is kind of most rampant. Because the whole point of Monopoly is you want to go buy up properties so that when people land on them later, you get paid for it, or they don't have the opportunity to buy them. So if you're in a 4-player game and one person goes first, you all have starting cash. And then based on dice rolls, you know how everything tends towards a 7. It means that first round around the first turn around the board, everyone's pretty much landing within 2, 3, 4 squares of each other. So the odds of you, if you go last and you have 3 other players go ahead of you, odds are each of those players was able to land on a unique different property, purchase it up, so that when it's your turn, you land on that property, you cannot purchase it, so you cannot even get that foothold in the game, and then do that for 3 more turns until it really starts to spread out enough where it kind of gets a little more random. But at that point, half the board's bought up. So
Yeah.
now it's like we're playing darts and I shoot first every time, but every section that I hit, I just remove off the dartboard, but I'm still scoring points and you can no longer score points from hitting that part of the dartboard. That's what it feels like.
So I had a
What
rule.
if there was a turn randomizer where every turn gets randomized?
No, so I do a snake. So it's 1, 2. So player 1, 2, 3, and then it goes 3, 2, 1. It keeps going like that. I do it that way. It's a little bit more fair.
The snake is a classic tactic for trying to eliminate first mover's advantage.
Yeah.
Settlers of Catan does this for the initial choosing of plots on the board. So if you go first, it means you get a pick first, but then you also get last pick. If you go second, you get second pick. Then you also get second to last pick. And then if you're playing with 4 people, which is the max for the base game, that 4th person pretty much picks twice in a row. So it kind of doesn't really matter which one you're picked because you're going to pick each one anyways. But technically orders matters because the second one is the one you get the resources from. But yeah, the snake is a pretty good one. I've seen it implemented in a handful of other areas, but it also kind of runs into its own issue where now you've effectively created a double move. Yeah. So if you are first and last, you are in this opportunity where you get a double move, whereas the people in the middle still have a person or at least 2 people between their moves. So making games is hard. That's all I'll say. Trying to figure out these problems is...
There's always going to be a flaw.
Yeah.
Would you guys be opposed to playing Rat Race live on stream? Robert Kiyosaki's game?
I never heard of it.
I'm not opposed. Is it fun Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, kind of we're gonna get together and do the thing? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's all online too.
Oh, for sure. But if you want to get nerdy at it and you want to break out the book that's called How to Win Games and Beat People that you got gifted when you were 17 years old because they realized the trend with you.
What?
It's more of Monopoly where it's more of an imperfect game as opposed to a good game with a lot of interaction. The way that I would describe that game is it's kind of like playing solitaire with it's you and 3 other friends get together and play solitaire at the same time, but you all only move 1 card at a time together.
You're talking about Rich Dad Poor Dad or Rat Race?
Yeah, it's interesting to see how the risk versus reward timeline pays off. But at the same time, there's not really any interaction with other players. So that'd be the only thing I'd be worried about.
Well, it's kind of like a race to the end. So I guess that's really the only interaction. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that's why I called it solitaire.
I used to play it with Sam and my dad and some other folks. It was a good time. It was a lot of fun. You got to learn a lot about finances playing that game. And then also playing the physical board version is much more fun because you're literally filling out like forms and calculating and doing and like you're doing the work, where like on the computer version, the computer does it all for you in the like blink of an eye, and so you miss out on a lot of like the valuable work that like brings like sweat equity into the game and stuff. A lot of fun.
Yeah, look, there's something to be said about just playing the classic board games in person as opposed to doing it online. By the way, Will, this is one of the big draws to Warhammer 40K. Can you play it online through a Steam game called Tabletop Simulator, which is kind of just like a sandbox that people program games into? Yeah, you can do it. But at the same time, like, there's nothing like, you know, pushing around little plastic models and rolling dice with the boys while you have a beer.
I really wanted to go into that store. For those of you guys in the audience don't know, I was at a store in Dallas yesterday, and they're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, but it was a Warhammer only store. And like I was like, I wanted to go in and buy orc figurines, but it wouldn't let me because they were fucking closed, those bastards. So I sent a picture of it to Zenith. Man, it's like I'm tempted to get the little figurines.
True. By the way, Sam has the correct name of the this is the correct name, right? The board game by Robert Kiyosaki is called Cash Flow.
Yeah, not Rat Race. I was thinking of a different one. Good correction there, Sam. Good to see you, broski.
I want to say
speaking of,
go for it.
I was gonna say, like, we haven't shouted out the folks in the audience if they've been racking up quite a tally over there.
We got a couple folks that we can say hello to.
Yeah, can you run this one? I'm in this city right now. I gotta focus.
Yeah. All right, time for some chat shout-outs, folks. We're very thankful that you're all showing up, hanging out with us on a nice Wednesday evening. I hope you all have a fine glass of whiskey for yourself or beverage of your choice if you don't want to let down Alan like I am. Up first, we got the Hex Sword. He says, "What's up, fellas?"
Fuck yeah!
This is a good buddy of yours, isn't it?
Yes, shout out to the Hex Sword. Good to see you in the fucking in the chat, Zubigo. Hell yeah. I just want you guys to know this guy makes fucking kick-ass swords. I've ordered a sword from him. Other of my friends have ordered sword. I know that some people like to keep it private, some people don't, but like I know that Crypto Coffee has ordered a Hex Sword from him. Fuck, who else has made it public? There's been quite a few people that have been ordering Hex swords. So fucking good to see you, amigo. Make these fucking swords. I paid him in Hex. This was back when Hex was a much more realistic price. So I'm hoping that it becomes one of the world's most expensive swords. But right now it's a lot less than what I paid for it. So hopefully you've been stacking more Hex, amigo, in the time since that transaction took place. But I fucking love that sword, man. That's like my favorite fucking sword. Shout out to this dude. Fucking love you, broski.
I dig it. Alrighty. Up next, we got Chad with the rocket ship and the happy face. Profile picture. I want to say that's Scooby-Doo looking at a green candle. I could also just be absolutely hallucinating. I might be hallucinating. Anyways, he's saying, just a reminder, you can buy one incentive token for 84 pennies currently. So there you go. Got a good use for your pennies. I got to imagine trying to onboard cash into crypto via change is got to be probably one of the hardest on-ramps, but it's doable.
Bro, that got me thinking, like, now that they don't make pennies anymore, like, you could just buy Hex. You can buy fractions of pennies using your pennies that you don't. So whenever you go to a store and your transaction requires that you spit out pennies, be like, hey, do you guys take Hex? Because right now it's about 40% of a penny. So you can look at that over there.
What's the meme Richard has posted? You don't have to buy a whole Ethereum. You don't have to buy a whole Hex.
Yep, you don't. You can buy a fraction of a Hex. There you go.
If you are buying one Hex or less, I'm pretty sure you're paying more in gas fees than the actual thing you're buying.
Yeah, no
even on PulseChain too.
At one point, that was the case for Bitcoin.
Oh, if only. Those were the days. Those were the days.
Long time ago.
Outside of that, man. Josh is coming in here. He was saying, I used cash earlier today, and my change was 27 cents, but only got 25 cents back because they didn't have any pennies. Well, they should have paid you some Hex. So that's all I'm saying. Sorry, Dace, I cut you off there, brother.
No, you're good. You're good. I was going to chime back in, but I think I forgot it. What I was going to say.
Much apologies. And then
it's all good.
Josh has got a good question for us, actually. Before we hit that, real quick. Sam, buddy, always a pleasure to see you. Hope the drafting's going well, my man. He's giving a friendly reminder to all the folks in the audience to smash the like button. We do appreciate it when you guys do the YouTube pleasantries around here. Subscribe, like, comment, hit it in the chat, or if you're on replay, gang, we like those comments too. I see some. Hear me out. There are some good replay gang comments that I see. They always make me chuckle. But here we go. Over to Josh. He says, "Do we ever just get rid of cash as a society?"
Sweden did, and they don't like it. There's quite a few cultures that have got rid of cash as legal tender.
When you say got rid of cash, do you mean from like they went digital, or they're like the hippie commune that does not believe in money?
They went digital. I don't think that you're allowed. I don't think that like you're allowed to use cash in Sweden. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember talking to my Sweden friend Malin about. Is I'm pretty sure that they don't use cash over in Sweden. Not because they don't want to, but because it's not legal tender or something like that. It might be a combination of both. It might be that the lack of its use made to the getting rid of it. And I don't think they use euros over in Sweden. I think they use kroners, but I might be misconfusing Sweden with somewhere else. So I'm not entirely sure.
Interesting. I mean, so one of the charts that we've talked about and rather frequently on the show here, specifically the Sunday news show, where we're more talking crypto, is the old M2 money supply. So there's these things called the different M numbers that differentiate how much money is circulating in the system. What you're referring to here is actually M0. This is the physical monetary base. So, I mean, to give my 2 cents on this one, haha, pun intended. I don't think you get rid of cash ever. I think physical manifestation is always going to be important, especially because we live in the real world and stuff happens. Sometimes you use your credit card. Sometimes the entire electrical grid goes out in your state. And whether it's just a small freeze in Texas or it's an actual giant hurricane that found its way to the middle of Appalachia somehow, you got to be able to transact with something. Cash really is the big upgrade from the barter system. And then we corrupted it through fractional reserve banking and government debt and spending, but that's neither here nor there. But no, I don't think that we ever get rid of cash as a society to a degree. You can definitely go towards the digital side of things. And I think that honestly, you can make the argument that we are there, which is like everybody uses a credit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay on your phone, where you tap your phone instead of even using your card is also an option. But at the same time, like your phone runs out of battery. Sometimes you're out of service. Sometimes the electricity goes out. So personally, no, I don't think we ever get rid of cash. If you get rid of cash and you have hardship, you then go back to barter by force. So, I mean, which one do you want? Do you want to deal with the inefficiencies of paper money and minting pennies that take 3 times the cost of their actual monetary value? I mean, it's up to you guys.
I've got an important point on this that I learned earlier today on a stream that I was watching. Take a look next time you have like a $20 bill or a $100 bill or a $1 bill. You will notice something about these bills. This bill is an interaction between 2 entities, between 2 persons, between 2 corporate existences, right? Over here, on this side of the bill, you have, it says up here at the top, the United States. And then it's got a little seal right here. It's got a little fancy stamp of approval. It's like, hey, this is the stamp of the United States. And then down here, it's got a signature, which I'm pretty sure is the Treasury Secretary signature, right? And then over here, on this side of the bill, you have, it says Federal Reserve, it has a serial number, which, man, there's a whole fun and fancy little world that goes into the serial numbers on bills. And then it has the seal of the Federal Reserve. And then it has the signature from the Secretary of the Federal Reserve, or the Treasury Secretary of the Federal Reserve. And in this case, this one was printed from Federal Reserve System. It does not say which one. I was looking at a 20 earlier, and it said Federal Reserve of Dallas. There's 12 Federal Reserves around the states, and sometimes you can see which money it was printed from, which reserve system. But this one, it does not say. But anyways, this note right here, this is a promissory note between 2 entities. The United States promises to pay the Federal Reserve at some point in the future 20 units of something. What are the units? We don't know. when is this note like going to be like called to completion, like called on its borrowing rate? We don't fucking know. What do we do with it in the meantime? We pass it in between each other because it is an unsecured promissory note, or an there's a very specific legal word, but it's basically like an unclaimed promissory note. If there was, instead of this like, I promise to pay this guy thing, if there was conditions on it and there was signatures and endorsements, then people wouldn't be able to trade it around with each other, right? So because the United States is borrowing this value from the Fed, and they don't say pay to the order of, Will Stevenson, or pay to the order of Zenith DI, or pay to the order of Dr. Alan Chen, right? Because this thing does not say those things. It doesn't have like timelines and conditions. Basically, whoever owns this thing can quote unquote redeem it, but like you really can't redeem it. It's just you hold the theoretical value of it and you pass it to other people along and so forth. So this is just a promise from one person to give another person something at an unspecified time, and anybody who holds this thing can treat it as the same thing as the value of the promise between the two entities. This thing right here is the same as if I wrote a note to Zenith and I said, hey Zenith, I promise to give you 3 chickens on Sunday, right? But if instead of like me writing on the piece of paper and giving it to Zenith because he's mowing my lawn today, right? Instead of me giving Zenith this piece of paper that says, I promise to give you 3 chickens on Sunday, if I just said, this piece of paper is worth 3 chickens and you can redeem it at me at any point in time. And then Zenith is like, well, I don't need 3 chickens, but I do need my car fixed. So I'm going to go to the car fixer place who I know needs 3 chickens. And I'm going to give him this note. That way he can say, oh, I get my 3 chickens from Will at any point in time that I want in exchange for him fixing my car and me mowing his lawn, and, blah, de, da, de, da. This is what our money system currently is. These things used to be redeemable for gold and silver. They no longer are. We left that in the beginning of the 1900s. And then the last bit of it was fucked away in, I think, 1971 under Nixon. But like,
yes, sir.
These are just little fucking IOUs. That's all that they are. And it's an IOU between the United States and between the Federal Reserve. Now, the United States' debt will always continue to go up, because once the United States pays its debt off to the Federal Reserve, then these notes disappear because the contract has been fulfilled. So the money amount is always going to go up. The money supply is always going to go up. The Fed's going to keep printing off new notes. They're never going to get paid back, right? I posted a little meme in the DJ Roundtable Telegram earlier today. Does the Federal Reserve ever get paid back? The answer is no, it does not, because paying the Federal Reserve back removes monetary supply and makes the dollar less dominant throughout the world, and blah, 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 weakens our economy, all that crazy shit. So it's like, it's just going to print into infinity. Anyways, that's enough of a monologue.
That was quite the description of what is money, if you will.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, if you're interested in that kind of a conversation, we covered a book about this on Book Club. It was called Pirate Money. It was talking about the idea of what is money, how do we secure the monetary system. The author actually proposed an idea of individual states who are, as per the Constitution, allowed to mint their own gold and silver for payable debts between states. Suggested an idea like that, but the guy does start off the book with a little personal story about, he looked at the old dollar bills, which says that the bearer can redeem one of these for $1. So he wrote the U.S. Treasury with a $10 bill and a note saying, I would like to redeem this for its value. And then the Treasury wrote back and said, we don't really do that, and no one knows what that means anyways. So we appreciate your inquiry, but please stop writing us.
I think he sent in a 10, and I think they sent him back 2 5s or something like that, right?
I thought you were going to say they sent him back at 20. And it's, the original Nigerian prince is here in the U.S. Send me $10. I'll send you 20.
Oh, man.
Anyways, tell you what, let's get the other boys in here. Alan, Dace, do you guys think that we even could get rid of cash as a society?
We shouldn't, but there's been a push to do it, is all I'll say. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on all the points there. Like, it's gonna make certain processes obsolete once we get rid of cash. It's also going to value cash a lot differently too. So it's going to rock the boat quite a bit, I would say. And actually, here's a fun fact. So my homeland in Taiwan, we actually are very, very pro cash. Interestingly enough, like very few, we do have credit cards and Apple Pay and all that stuff, but like a lot of people still use cash quite frequently. Actually, we still have safes that have that store cash, so it's quite interesting. And yet the economy runs still fine, but a lot of times Taiwan's a small country, so they can probably do it. They can probably sustain it. There are a lot of also like small businesses and small shops, so they don't really deal with the technology, so to speak. But anyway, if it could become cashless, there's going to be I guess the other thing to think about also is we're probably going to be tracked a lot more, because now everything is anything electronic can be looked at by somebody. So that's another important thing to think about. And there are ways around it, by the way, in terms of how to, I guess, get the little bugs in your phone from, seeing everything that you're doing. There are ways around it. But the fact of the matter is that there's going to be a lot of people, especially with AI coming on this, to be able to research what you're doing and figuring out whether your behavior is good or bad.
Palantir's watching.
Yeah.
Big Brother's watching.
We're getting canceled for sure.
Spoken out against the World Health Organization, now the big AI and governments and even the CCP. So yeah.
And Karen's, I just
and that too. Good running, boys. We had a good one.
Yeah.
And the government of Canada. They're the most dangerous. They'll shoot you if you're an ostrich. Better beware.
That is a wild news story, by the way.
So the angle of the conversation that my mind goes to is, we know that they're debasing the value of the currency, right? That's something we talk about a lot in lots of different facets and angles. To me, the question is, can you wean people off of cash and onto an all digital society faster than the system, before the system explodes, before you have a revolt due to just the mass devaluation of the currency? That's if you are running the show, you have to, if you want to, the question, can we? Yes. Human beings are pliable. We will learn whatever habit is between us and our incentives, right? And so if you're running the game, it would be in your interest to align people's incentives with going digital if getting rid of cash is your aim. And so look to see universal basic income tied to cryptocurrency. I mean, I think that is a clear inroad to stave off those who would seek to not be controlled by the people currently in control, that the people currently control could do to both incentivize people to go digital and also, remove their interest in using cash at the same time. And so that's the root of the incentive, and that's what drives people's behaviors.
I think you had a really good question in there, which is, which happens first? We go cashless, or the monetary system as it exists ceases to exist in some way, whether it's revolution, we actually just get defaulted on, that kind of thing. I know that, Dace, you and I have talked about this one a lot, which is how they're constantly printing our money into oblivion. It's getting crazier and crazier every year as well. But hear me out. I think it's actually a coin toss. And I think that if you wanted to phase people out towards a cashless society, I think there's going to just be the old guard that always just wants to deal with cash until the day that they die, and you literally have to wait them out. I don't think it's too crazy to say that waiting for old people who like cash to die out versus the timeline of the US fiat dollar collapsing is too crazy. And I say that because we went off the gold standard in 1971. We also confiscated people's gold back in the early 30s, late 20s. In each of those occasions, people were saying that the US dollar is going to collapse, and they were saying it was going to happen within a matter of 5 to 10 years. It is currently the year of our Lord, 2025, meaning We are 55 or 54 years past going off the gold standard. If there's one thing that I've learned, I will not underestimate the ability of the people in control to keep this ship going despite how many holes it has in it. I think that it is a massive force, and it's clear based on how long the current system has prevailed, despite all of the crises, all of the issues that we've had. Because remember, we had hyperinflation in the 70s and 80s. We had dot-com bubble crash 2001. We basically had the entire dang near system fail in 2008. And now we've printed, Jace, what's the stat? What percentage of the dollars in existence were printed in 2020?
From 2020 to now, it's right about 50%. That's like 45% or something disgusting.
Yeah. So to wrap up my point is that it's not that the system is resilient, but because it kind of is, but also just the willpower behind the system is also so massive and so in control. I genuinely don't think that they're going to be willing to let it go. So call me crazy.
Agree. No, I think I fully agree. And I think that's why my mind then went to, how do you adjust the people's behaviors, right? If they want people to go cashless, like, yeah, there will be some old guard, but if you tell the old guard who's cash only that if he goes and logs on this place, he can pay his Amazon bill for the next 3 months with the cash that's sitting there, he's not going to not use it, And so, yeah, that's, to me, all it's going to take is, these infrastructure guidelines that have been put in place by this new administration to finish being put in place, which takes forever. And once that's happened, the next administration, they're going to see that lever and they're not going to not pull it if it means adjusting the behaviors of the people that they're interested in being able to monitor and control and also, like you said, wean off cash for a number of reasons.
Yeah, gosh, the show goes on. That's all I got to say about it. The economy just keeps shouting encore, hoping that the show will never end, even though it will one day. But till then, the band is a little coked up and a little drunk, and they're ready to play all night.
They're fucking slamming methamphetamine and just like trying to shred with like the most wrinkly and saggy, baggy under eyelids and things. And bro, your analogy about they're keeping the boat on course no matter how many holes pop up in it. I was just thinking like, yeah, bro, they're like jamming poor people into the holes and plugging them up as they go along, and it's like that's how they keep the ship afloat.
Is that a bit of a pessimistic metaphor? Yes. Is that something people believe about the current financial system? Also, yes.
It's not the poor people; it's the middle class.
Well, it's both. It's kind of everybody, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's everyone that's not the asset class. How about that?
Correct. Well, the middle class is being segregated into those two smaller, or two separate groups.
Yeah.
Better buy some assets.
Yeah.
Have you heard about HEX?
Have you heard about HEX? May I interest you in the good program HEX?
In this 40% of a penny HEX, if you buy 2.5 HEX coins, you can have 1 penny at today's prices.
That's true. Oh my gosh.
I wonder how much a T-share is right now. Like for a Quattro Cinco T-share, it's got to be. Let's see if a Quattro Cinco HEX stake is, we'll just say 43,000 HEX, but you get a 3x multiplier. It's probably around $70 to get a Quattro Cinco T-share. Would be my guess. Could be wrong.
Let's see. Last I checked, the HEX share rate was like 35,000 HEX per T-share. Oh,
bro, you are way behind. Way behind.
Look, hey, I locked it up a while ago, and I haven't really touched it since. So what do I know?
I did the math in the DGen Roundtable chat one day, and I think Jason and I we ran a DGen Roundtable Telegram special just for T-shares, and yeah, it's like I think it's around $300. Whatever the price is for a one day T-share, it is 3 times cheaper, or it is 1/3 the price to get a anywhere between a 10 to 15 year T-share.
Yeah, I want to say, gosh, I'm trying to pull up the website right now. It's going a little slow, but it looks like we're on day 2180 for HEX. And
nice.
If you Quattro Cinco'd day 1, that means that by my bad napkin math, you are waiting for day 2,227 to be the halfway point. So that's coming up soon.
That's true. Probably a very important date to keep on the calendar.
Yeah, there's also that, but gosh, we also mentioned it the other stream. I can't remember which one it was. I think Brendan mentioned it, which is that if you do the longer pays better bonus for Hex, it maxes out at 10 years, I want to say.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah, so
that's why correspondingly Will was saying that the cost from 10 all the way to 15 is the same discount. That's right.
Yes, exactly. So due to that fact, there's kind of also like another little like sub date that's put in there, which is that if you just look at people that went for that minimum of maxing out the longer pays better bonus, then whatever that date is, there will also be the nice little halfway and then also the full maturation point for that one as well. So just things to keep in mind. It's crazy to think that like we say we're still in the early game for hex staking and stuff, but by the numbers, like we are. We haven't even gotten to the point where the Quattro Cinco folks can unstake for not losing everything. Wild stuff. I'm just saying. Think about it.
It's going to be an interesting. The hex cycle is 15.2 years, where the Bitcoin cycle is so far been 4 years. We shall see.
True. It's true. By the way, I do have a message of hope I'd like to share with everyone. Justin, 95% of all Bitcoin bought in the last 155 days is now underwater, higher than COVID and the FTX collapse.
That's wild.
It just goes to show what the traction over the year is, because Alan already mentioned this earlier. He didn't quite say it as a, oh gosh, who was the author that wrote Huckleberry Finn?
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain. There's lies, damn lies, and statistics. Well, this kind of falls right in there, because if you look at it, and Will's gone, but we'll keep going. If you look at the chart, yeah, there's been some stuff that's happened in the last 155 days. So if, I don't know, you plop day 155 in right here at the top, and then you look at where we are now, yeah, it's probably going to be down. But at the same time, it's still just a fun data point showing that has 2025 gone the way that we thought it was going to go? Not quite. Have there been good times? Yeah, for sure. Have there been bad times? Most definitely. I would argue right now we're actually kind of in a doubling of the bad times. Alrighty, we got another X post. Dace, what is this guy?
Let's see. Oh yeah, I just posted it over there in our Walk the Block Telegram. That's where you saw it pop up. Yeah, BlackRock plans to file for a new staked Ethereum trust in Delaware. The joke is Delaware has some very famously loose financial regulation, which is why lots of people do this sort of thing in that state. And so I've been preaching for a couple of years now about the catalyst that being able to stake Ethereum through these ETF vehicles is going to be in the market. Institutions are going to see the value long term to be able to offer yield-bearing products based in crypto that they can hold. And so this is a big deal. This is something I've been watching and waiting for a very long time.
Gosh, we've been talking about this pretty much ever since they launched the ETFs back in, I want to say June of 2024. That was literally over a year ago, almost a year and a half at this point.
Crazy.
Gosh. Yeah, well, tell you what, here's why it matters. You could say, do we already have an ETH ETF? Yes, we do. Do we have an ETH staking ETF? No, we don't. What's the difference? Well, the Ethereum ETF, you just basically buy spot Ethereum. If you were able to stake it, it means that you could actually implement a buy and hold strategy over time where you actually earn passive yield. I don't know, similar to a dividend stock, if those things still pay out these days. I know they're far and few between now, but they do still exist. And there is a good group of guys over on the Wall Street Bets subreddit that enjoy doing the long-term gain and watching everyone else just post all their losses while they laugh all the way to the bank 6% at a time. So that's really the point behind it. And again, if you open up the ability for people to actually stake the things they're buying, it's just one more bone you're throwing, either TradFi, traditional retail investors, 401k folks, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyways, I got some Will, we talked about, I don't know if do you remember on Sunday if we had actually talked about the McDonald's headline?
We did not do no, I think we might have mentioned it about like the McDonald's, there's more McDonald's workers now.
Yeah, there was I can't remember if it was either in the green room or on the show, but we talked about, we got a breaking news alert through Telegram saying that there's a record amount of McDonald's applications as Bitcoin was crashing down to 90K. Well, I have bad news. I'm going to explain the joke and potentially kill the joke. Did McDonald's really see a job application surge after crypto? No data or sentiment support it, and they fact checked it. So thank you to CryptoTicker.io. Hear me out. Was it funny? Absolutely. Was it true? Who cares? Still funny, and the sentiment still stands.
I mean, bro, it reinforces my thesis that everything is a campfire story. And if enough people believe the campfire story, then it doesn't matter if it's real or not because it's funny. And that has more, sometimes being funny has more value than being real. And I can't even begin to imagine how many things I was told in my life that are more funny than they are real. Like, you know, history is written by the winners or by the better marketers or by the people that, you know, have the pens and access to the printing paper or whatever the hell. It's all campfire stories, man. It's all campfire stories. So rejoice and warm your hands and let's make it fun. By the way, I did the math for a 10 to 15 year T-share. The cost right now is $62 if you want one T-share. $62.
That's not bad.
There you go.
That's pretty
That's
bad.
not bad at all. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Ugh. Alan, I'm curious. How plugged in are you to the Hexican PulseChain sphere? Do you know what the current giant debacle is?
I'm not aware of the latest stuff, but I mean, I just own it. I don't know how much I own, to be honest with you. I should check.
You still have Hex.
Yeah, I know. I still do. I never sold it. I never did anything with it. I just stashed it in the whatchamacallit, the.
I think we got you some stakes.
Yeah, I staked it essentially, so I just left it there. In terms of like the recent, like the Richard Hart stuff, I'm not totally completely up to date on that because I've had other stuff to do. But please, do tell.
Good sir. I was gonna just give a point to the folks at home, which is like, look, if you just want to be a happy Hexican who's doing a lot with their lives and not getting crazy on Twitter, look at Alan. What an example. But for the rest of us, there was a new sacrifice for a new token announced within the last few weeks that has actually gone live. And let me tell you, that has got some camp lines divided and drawn, and people are yelling back and forth about who's right, who's wrong. And are you surprised?
No. No.
So here's the thing. You have folks that are out there going and interacting with the regular world in order to generate a profit and to make the world a better place. And they know nothing about the drama that goes on behind people who have gambled too much of their money away into a thing that's not doing exactly what they want it to do in the time frame that they want it to do it. And so they're out there spreading their butthurt and negative feelings because they want to get out of this thing that they feel trapped in that makes them feel bad and hurt and sad and everything. And it's like, be like Alan, guys. Be like Alan.
Well,
go touch grass. Go fix people.
Yeah.
The people who exhibit that behavior care more about the medium. They care more about the network and the echo chamber of the thing on the screen more than what they're doing in their lives.
True.
That or the behavior wouldn't be rendered out as such. And so, like, yeah, you have to bear in mind how pervasive these mediums are.
Yeah.
Like, we love this because it's our little social circle, right? Like, we can't sit around the bar all here directly, sadly, so we do this. And so, but when you extrapolate that into some of the more negative behaviors that people exhibit, you know, when VR becomes a thing, when social points, right? You have like a rating system for your friends becomes a thing. Like, these networks and these mediums are going to become more pervasive, and they're going to matter more to people in the future, not less than real life. I think it's going to become a really serious problem.
I like that point. They care more about the medium than they do about their own lives.
Sure.
That's
When you
good.
see extreme examples, right? People who have neglected their kids to play World of Warcraft, or like, what's the really intense PC game that people invest real world money in? It's space. Anyway, there's people that
StarCraft?
take gaming. No, it's not StarCraft.
EVE Online,
Gosh,
baby.
what's it?
Let's
EVE
go.
Online. That's right. So
It's
like,
either that or Star Citizen.
yeah, no, Eve was the one I was thinking of, but yeah, they're both like extremes of the gaming world where people value that digital medium more than their physical existence. I think we're going to see more of that come up. It's going to be, our brains are not equipped to like separate those things, and you see it, like you said, whether it's people complaining online or as digital experiences become more potent, people will care about them more than their physical lives, I think.
Ready Player One, bro.
I hear you, Dace, and I do believe it too. I'm just shocked that we're not there yet. Like gosh, when did we first start getting like VR games or VR games that were just like kind of clickbaity almost, like just didn't really have a whole lot of substance? I want to say it was like
Oculus Rift was 2012 or 2013.
Yeah, 2012, 2013. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's 13 years ago. I don't know what's going on with it, but there just has been an outright kind of rejection about VR anything.
Well,
I know
it's
that
nauseating. You can't.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable. So, like, you can
think
sit in
it's
front of a
that-
computer for 12 hours a day, but you can't wear the Oculus for 12 hours a day. That has some very real, like, disorientation effects.
It's
You
too
know?
close to your eyes. Also, like that's the people. Yeah, you're right. People get a lot of nausea and
It's heavy. It's clunky. Yeah.
yeah, it can affect. It can mess with your like. It can mess with vertigo too. Like in terms because your balance is all a lot based on your neck. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just I think it's kind of odd because we've watched technology advance so far so quickly. Like, gosh, when did ChatGPT get released? Was that 2022? I want to say to the
Something like
public.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and in
Really?
like 3 years, AI has absolutely just like it's disrupted so much stuff. It has also just changed the game fundamentally. VR was introduced 13 years ago, and it really hasn't even found a foothold. Even though this is the kind of technology that people had been like fantasizing and dreaming about since like gosh the 70s or even earlier. I want to say Ray Bradbury, the author of Fahrenheit 451. He wrote the book back in the 50s, and one of the things in that book was that people were entertained by like the virtual reality room in their house. Imagine like a small like bedroom size room, but each of the entire walls and ceiling is part of a screen for an entire experience and exposure. And he describes TV programs as like fully interactable. Like you could learn to sing along with like an opera or a show, and then the screen would also interact back with you. So like this stuff has been in the zeitgeist for a long time, but gosh, I never would have imagined that was the one that actually would not have happened. Like we've had so much crypto stuff, we've had NFTs, we've had AI, we've had how so many things just like pick up, go quick, maybe burn out, maybe disrupt entire industries and entire nation states and budgets, but that's a discussion for another time. Cough, cough, AI. But I don't know. I'm just surprised that one isn't taken off. It is cool that people are still trying to pursue it, but what do you guys think the limitations are? Is it just like hardware and the human interaction with it?
Well, hardware is one, but the hardware's come a long way. I think development. Yeah. Those are the two prongs: hardware and development. Like when those two, when development gets cheaper and easier, again, leveraging AI, I think the hardware is at a place where we're pretty close to having it be affordable, and so it's just about the right applications, and the right developers, I think.
Well, we also don't have like jetpacks, though. Like everyone used to think that jetpacks were going to be the thing of the future. We have instead of jetpacks, we have self-driving cars. We have cars that nanny you for you. So like you don't get to fly around. You don't get more freedom. You get less freedom. You get, hey, this thing determines what lane you're going to be in. Like a lot of cars, like fucking subscriptions for heated seats, right? We don't move to more enabling and more tools. We move towards more subscription, more extraction. So like if they can make these devices in such a way that it doesn't harm the user and that it's cheap enough, like you guys were saying, then then perhaps it'll go there. I personally don't think that VR is going to go somewhere. I could totally see the interactive room thing like you were talking about, Zenith. I could see that happening for sure. But
well, I'm gonna disagree with you on the jetpacks point, and just to continue the trend of pissing off government agencies. You know who I blame for not having jetpacks? The FAA. It's your fault. You were the reason we don't have jetpacks.
Yeah.
You're the reason that we don't even have the ability to like fly RC airplanes and drones and in spaces that we want to without proper licensing and notifications and stuff. It's like
there's a lot of responsibility that goes with getting a heavy thing really high up. You know,
that's fair.
There's a lot of like, this is now a missile, and also now you can watch people, right, including government. So
they do not like that. They do not.
Yeah, they don't like that at all. They don't like their own technology being used in reverse. It's like, no, this is mine.
Speaking of the technology, though, when it comes to the VR stuff, I know that we kind of got like tunnel vision on like the headset is probably like the VR experience. But the way that I see it, that there's really 3 options to achieve VR. Option number 1 is the Fahrenheit 451 version, which is the immersible room that reacts in real time. Option 2 is headset. Option 3 is Neuralink. Each of those has their own downfalls, but you could argue that the ability to do the interactable room kind of already exists for people that have gone to Disney World and stuff before. You go to the Finding Nemo exhibit and they have like the screen where Crush the Turtle like talks and interacts with people. That technology is there, but I just think the latency on that one is the real issue to make it feel real versus I'm doing a thing, the computer is thinking, the computer is showing the thing. Headsets, you have the human element problem, which, yeah, I don't think you can change human hardware. You can change the headset hardware, but you can't change the fact that your nose is there and that you get vertigo. And then Neuralink, I think it's probably, we don't have it yet, so it might be why I'm saying that it's probably the best option to actually get the craze going. But at the same time, that technology is so far off, I think.
That would be nifty.
I don't know.
I don't know about good or bad, but it'd be nifty.
It would be nifty. Alan, do you like the idea of plugging your brain into equipment?
No. No,
well,
not really.
What could
not yet.
possibly go wrong? There's nothing important up there, right?
Bro, doctors plug people's brains into equipment all the time.
They monitor it.
It's more. We don't read their minds. We just monitor how much glucose is in there and how much.
I would say that's a reading.
EEG waves. I guess it's somewhat a way, but you have to like deduce a lot of things. It's not like a direct connection to your thoughts.
Yeah, but I mean that's just like, a couple levels of interpretation efficiency later, right? Sure. Like it's probably coming. It's probably coming.
No, it probably is. Yeah, especially for like the psychiatric patients. That's probably what they're going to use it for.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I've long thought about since ChatGPT has come out, I've thought about the implications of if you had that in your head and you were, let's say, in a courtroom and your opponent did not have it in their head. Like, good luck, man. It's just, I think competitive arenas where some people are chipped and some people are not that's gonna become a problem, and you're gonna have cultures pop up where they're like, hey, we want to be pure people, and then there'll be people that say, no, we want to optimize, we want to be the best we can be. It's I think that's the optimistic outlook. The pessimistic one is we all just get chipped, just like we all just got smartphones and signed away our privacy. I think those are the only two outcomes. I think it's either going to divide culture among naturalists and technologists, or we all are going to be plugged in.
We could be our little North Sentinel Island over there in Hexaco, and all the chip boys will be like, look at these primitives.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm trying to find I made a meme for this. I gotta find it.
There's like, I'm thinking like a little bit of like they're just like a couple steps removed away from Neil Blomkamp's what was that movie Chappie, like South Africa, the robot police guy.
That was a freaking movie, all right.
That's a
Yeah,
good one.
there was the plot was South Africa implements a robotic police force, and then the company running it is like, yes, we are police only. We're not doing the weird stuff. But they have like some of the younger guys on the team who are like the visionary people. They're like, what if we took this like sentience to another level? And then their robot gets captured by drug dealers, and then the drug dealers teach the police robot to be a gangster. And then they finish off the movie by trying to take 50 PS4s, combine them together, a haptic feedback helmet, and then transplant someone's consciousness into the robot. It's a wild movie.
It's fucking awesome, man. It's fucking awesome. Shout out to Neil Blomkamp, man. That and District 9. Like, he's made some really cool South Africa movies.
There you go. South Africa, the wild, wild west. Or Centurions actually tells us there's another wild, wild west. He said, he says, you got to go to Class G airspace. It is the Wild West. You just can't do it near most major cities because of controlled airspace. Ah, there we go. Thank you very much, sir. He does say that there's a video of a guy who made a drone hoverboard, and he is legal to fly it, but he can't land it without authorization from the State Department of Transportation and the FAA. I've seen this one before. It is funny. He's like, do we have the technology? Yes. Do I have to ask for permission to go up? No. Do I have to ask for permission to come down? Yes. And they're real touchy about it.
Mm.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You can go up, but you got to ask permission to come down. It's like, who's that dude with the balloon, with the lawn chair tied to a whole bunch of balloons, and he had a BB gun, and you're just like, fucking.
Balloon Man, yeah. God,
Yeah.
that's some old history right there. Yeah, Sam is also coming in here. He's saying the collective power of all the minds together could probably accomplish much more than everyone with being private with their brain.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
the issue is, what do you aim at? That's the problem. I mean,
That
yes,
is that.
it certainly could, but like, who gets to pick what the task is? That's the problem. Autonomy.
That's true.
Exactly. The autonomy is a necessary part of the human experience, and that's why we all shudder when we think about becoming the Borg, right? If you guys haven't watched The Next Generation, the Star Trek Borg, you gotta watch your Borg episodes. What's that, Will?
I was gonna say I'm the one that gets to decide where everyone. I'm like the Borg steering man, the Borg
the
helmsman.
mother, the queen. I see.
Yes, I am the queen.
Yeah.
I am the queen of France.
Yeah. Well,
My spoon's too big.
maybe so, man. Yeah, it's just that's always the problem with the centralization versus decentralization of power and authority, right? We've seen that on a governmental scale. We're just going to see it on a mind network scale too. It sounds like very potentially.
We started running through chat shoutouts, Zenith, and I guess we kind of got distracted a little bit. I see that we're rolling through them again. Is there a whole lot more?
Yeah, we got a few more here from our boys. By the way, shout out to us, Centurion54X, good buddy of ours. Always a pleasure to see you. He says, what's up, D-Gens? And by the way, you mentioned that whole money rant you went on earlier. Well, he is willing to give out free chickens to any D-Gen that wants one. So, you want a chicken? I imagine you have to go pick it up instead of getting it shoved in an Amazon Prime box. But there you go.
I was going to make that joke.
I might be the first D-Gen to go get a free chicken from Mr. Kenturian.
Nice.
I know I'm not the only D-Gen to have. Oh, I wouldn't put him in a coop, bro. He'd sit up here in the co-pilot seat with me until I get hungry, and then he would sit inside of my cooking device.
There's the joke. There it is. I was waiting for that. By the way, Will Scott Wonderwolf joining us. Shout out to you, sir. He says, RH's tickers have destroyed many people's lives, to be honest. Hear me out.
I don't know about that.
He is factually correct. If you give people the financial instrument, especially one that has performed the way it has, yeah, there's a good chance it's done definitely some damage to people that have used it irresponsibly. But again, that kind of goes back to what we say on here. Dace, what money should you invest in crypto?
Only money you're willing to go to zero.
There you go. So
I would disagree. I would say that fuck it. Yeah, like I'm with your guys' sentiment completely, and I would say that like if people's lives have been destroyed by RH tickers, then it's like, well, congratulations, you made the bad investment, and you had the wrong timeline and you over leveraged. It's not that like guns don't kill people. People kill people. Gaping holes in vital organs kill people, right? It's not the tool itself, it's the misuse of the people. Now, like, yeah, the price is down bad for sure. Like, does it suck? Yeah. If it destroyed someone's life, then that means that they over leveraged, which is their free and clear decision. But I wouldn't like putting the responsibility on the ticker itself disempowers the person who is the one moving the currency units around. So like I wouldn't blame the tickers because I can't change the tickers. I would blame myself because I can change my own behavior. If I start saying like, oh, it's this damn, whatever the heck's fault, that bad thing happened to me. It's like, well, I can't change damn whatever the hell thing. I can only change my own behavior. I can only change myself. So it does me no good. It's like that, what's the book with Jocko Willink? Extreme Responsibility, right?
Extreme ownership.
Or extreme ownership. That's what it is, not extreme responsibility. Extreme ownership. If you take ownership of everything that happens and you realize that everything is your fault, then you now have power over the world. And if you blame the things that happen in your life on other things that are outside of your control, then you're like effectively a child, or you're an infant, or you're someone who cannot control their own destiny. So it's like, do I make bad decisions with my money? Abso-fucking-lutely. If I was looking to get rich between my entry into Hex and right now, then I've made a bad decision. But if I'm looking to, make tons of money, then I need to take the input, take the output, process that, and make decisions accordingly in the future based on the things that I've learned, rather than just being like, oh, bad thing got me down bad. So it's like, I think I understand what Simon's saying, and he might be egging me on because I know that that's what he likes to do. So congratulations, Simon. You fucking got me, broski. I love you, dude. But that's my thoughts on that.
It's a good perspective to have for sure, especially in the investing world, especially in crypto investing, which is that volatility is the name of the game. It is the thing that we are here for, especially. But one of the things that when you really get into the space, you look at opportunity cost. And by that, I mean, you can look at the opportunity cost of if you didn't put it in crypto or if you just put it in other assets. So by the numbers, have the RH tickers not performed over this cycle or PulseChain's lifespan as long or nearly as well as other assets, even like Bitcoin, for example, the big one, or some other stuff? The answer is yeah. Cycle's not over yet, in my personal opinion. But at the same time, to call a spade, yeah, by the numbers, it is not the top performing asset, nor I believe it's in the top, probably even 100. Yeah, it's probably fair to say 100 tokens. But at the same time, our good buddy Hexagon Lost in Asia has some excellent perspective for us as well. He says, if you haven't sold, you still have all your value and coins on chain. Last month, people couldn't even stop loss on DEXs. That's right. It's only a loss if you realize it as a loss. Till then, it's still a speculative position. Well said, sir. We do also have a warning from our good buddy Centurion 54X. He says, "Don't let Wheel near your goats. He kissed mine."
I did kiss Centurion's goat. There is picture proof. I gave it a peck on the schnoz, a fucking kiss on the nose. Those are some pretty cool goats he's got. I'm fueling up though. Continue.
I mean, that was pretty much it. Dace, any thoughts on the idea of realizing losses? Or is that just copium?
No, I mean, I think it's part of the game. I think you analyze the rules of the game and you play the best you can. I think that's the case in all systems and in lots of life, in fact. And so, yeah, no, I mean, people make their decisions and they have different time scales, and that's why the market is as erratic as it is from day to day, because while we all have the same long-term goals, we all are operating on different relative time scales. And so, yeah, no, I mean, I think everyone approaches the market in the way that they see fit, and like, I would rather personally a system where you are free to make bad decisions, but there's also volatility where you can maybe win, versus a system that is padded in its walls, and also there's no winners. And so, yeah, I think it's a difficult thing to create a perfectly safe system that also has opportunity at the same time. That is a very difficult balance to strike. And so, like,
I could imagine a perfect world and a perfect system where that's the case, but like I don't know that it's ever been iterated in the world, and I don't know that it's viable when you know, stick it in the system with other real people. And so, yeah, I think to each their own, right? Like I like the freedom to maybe fail and maybe succeed. That's in my nature, though. That's across a lot of the aspects of my personality, I think. And so I know not everybody feels that way, and like that's okay too.
Well said. I don't know, Alan. Does this make sense, or is this just the crypto influencers high on copium using some jargon to convince everyone that we haven't made all entirely bad mistakes?
I mean, there is always a degree of risk with anything that you do. I mean, it's not specific to crypto. Let's just be real.
For sure.
You know, and it's also a matter of like what kind of effort you're willing to put into it, and also, yeah, like how many risks you're willing to take. And the higher the risk, the more up and down things go. It's more volatility, obviously. So as long as you understand that, like there's, you know, and you're accountable for your decisions. I mean, you know, there shouldn't be like, you know, copium, if you will, or whatever you want to call it. You know, that's just investing in a nutshell. You know, again, a lot of these concepts can apply elsewhere too. So yeah, crypto, you know, for you guys, crypto is life.
So you're telling me I can't get a bad health report if I don't go to the doctor?
That's true. Yeah.
Can't realize that loss?
Correct. If you don't acknowledge it in the first place, so you have no idea. But hey, if you do it 2 years later, maybe you could reverse all that and have a good health report, and you can cash out.
There you go, cashing out on health.
Yeah, I think Will, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was gonna say the monsters don't exist if my head is under the covers.
There you go. Tell you what, gentlemen, we are getting to the top of the hour here, so how about we go around the horn here, do some final thoughts. If you have a final topic or idea you want to pose, please go for it. Dace, we're going to start with you, big guy.
Nothing more to add, really. It was a fun conversation. Glad to join you guys, as always.
Love it. By the way, Centurion is saying you can't get hungover if you keep drinking.
Centurion also called you out for kissing his goats, Will.
I did indeed.
The confession.
Happy to do it again.
He's not wrong, by the way. You know, that's called an eye opener. Is that what it is? Yeah, it's called an eye opener.
No doubt. Find me on X and Instagram at Dace Northall. I'm over there at Teasing Roundtable and Walk the Block. Teasing Roundtable's link is right there below my little picture. So come hang out and join us.
Love it. Dr. Alan Chen, the good doctor, if you will. Where can the folks find you, and what do you got going on, good sir?
Yeah, I'm on X at unplugged_doc. And then I'm also on YouTube at Your Health Unplugged, where you can get plenty of rants about random things, not just health, by the way. I talk about other stuff too. And one of my mantras is that everything in life can be integrated into health somehow. It should not be treated as a separate entity. So I do talk a little bit about relationships and finance, at least to how it can affect your health as well. So yeah, check me out over there. We have coming up, I recently took a trip to El Salvador, so we're going to have a little docu-series about that trip and sort of kind of the greater existential concepts behind, you know, sort of my efforts to unplug myself. So it's called Una Vida Desconectado, or Desconectada. It's feminine. So anyway, yeah, but plenty of more things for me. I got work coming up. The holidays are coming up. So this last minute, you know, the holiday parties are afloat. And yeah, we're looking to close out the year very strong.
Love to hear it. By the way, folks, quick reminder, it is Your Health Unplugged on YouTube.
Yeah, by the way, if you guys are interested in like how to sort of prevent the people that the powers that may be from trying to track your every move, that podcast that I did with Polycarp, God is Decentralized, that's a very good one for you to check out. I know that guy in person, and I visited his lab. It's a lot of interesting stuff, and he's a Bitcoin guy too, so he's very well versed into crypto and all that. So we actually are planning on doing a big project in El Salvador too. So he's a very, very good person to talk with those kinds of concepts with. And he's located in Austin, by the way. So if you're in that area, definitely check them out.
Love to hear it.
Yeah.
All right, Will, are you closing out or am I?
I'll do the final thing, but if you could hit the producer buttons, that would be most welcome. Where can the folks find you, Zenith, and what have you got going on in the near future?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me here at the DGen Roundtable, and I do this every once in a while, but Dace and I and some of the other guys also have another channel going called Walk the Block, Navigating Digital Finance. You can find it on YouTube. We stream Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Here at the DGen Roundtable, we have a good time. We crack open a bottle of whiskey, talk about some weird stuff that gets us canceled by all the governments because we piss them all off at the same time. But over there, it's definitely the more professional white glove service. So we keep news stories, overall macro stuff, short and sweet for a 1 hour thing. And then we also have the Telegram where we try to do some exclusive live streams for the guys that are willing to cough up a little more penny and really want the best stuff that we have to offer. Outside of that, though, folks, all the stuff here, DGen Roundtable, we're going to be here every week, Wednesday, Friday, and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as the Chiron says down below, and our fancy Nancy graphic. This Friday, we got book club coming up, hosted by Will. Will, what is the book we're covering?
We are going to be covering The Guide to the Most Beautiful Woman. Oh, there we go, on my camera. The Most Beautiful Woman in the World, The United States of America, by Brendan Joe Williams. This book is it's a modernization of Army Training Manual 2000-25, which was published back in 1928. This book is like a very good covering of the cornerstone of a lot of the stuff that Brandon Joe Williams talks about on his YouTube and in his free course and stuff. So it's fantastic and excellent. Folks, as far as where can you find me and what I've got going on in the near future, that's Book Club. The DGen Roundtable does their Sunday thing. We do our Wednesday thing. And I can be found in the Oklahoma Panhandle for at least one day, possibly two. And will.pls.fyi and t.me/hex_meetup. That's all I've got.
Will,
and
more importantly, if people want to continue the conversation and continue the hangout, where should they go? Or what should they scan?
Oh, if you want to join the DGen Roundtable, geez Louise, wow, I dropped that ball. If you guys want to join the DGen Roundtable community, then go to t.me/DRT, Delta Romeo Tango, DRT join now. T.me/DRT join now. You can scan that QR code at the bottom of the page, or you can type it up into your URL. But that's where we chat. That's where we hang out. That's where we share memes and do all of this awesome stuff. So hop on over there, guys. You'll fucking love it. And with that being said, it's time to go ahead and wrap up the stream. So I want to thank you all for spending your valuable time with us here on the DGen Roundtable. As Agent Jay often says, we know that time is your most valuable asset, and we appreciate you spending it right here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Will Stevenson, but more importantly, you have been watching the DGen Roundtable. Mr. Producer, get that trigger finger ready, because it's time to remind all the folks at home to remember to DGen responsibly.